Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Mike, and first time in a long while, once again, back here with another video, but today it's one that I'm actually pretty happy to make. I'll just kind of get all the stuff out of the way. If you've been around the channel before, you know the kind of story already at this point. Life keeps me busy, life keeps me tired, but I still want to be able to come in and make videos every now and then whenever I feel like it, and definitely I am looking forward to a lot of things in the next coming weeks or so. Because, with a lot of the FPS talk around the block with Call of Duty, Battlefield 6, and Arc Raiders and all of that stuff, it's nice to see that a lot of healthy competition in the space is allowing all of these games to be able to come out and be the best that they can be. And this goes for Black Ops 7 as well. I know that community sentiment around the game is not the highest right now, and I think it's a combination of just the long-term burnout ever since Modern Warfare, and then things kind of just compounding year after year. And not only that, but also just the fact that, to be honest, I feel like doing back-to-back of the same sub-franchise in this series does fatigue the overall player base a lot more than we probably thought it would. But I think I've mentioned it on a couple of streams if I did for Black Ops 7 before, that I'm looking forward to this game. I really am. And I know that it can kind of, I guess in some people's eyes, be a bit of a hot take to say that, because it's like it's the new hit thing to just hate on Call of Duty. That's always been a thing, but it seems like now more than ever. But despite all of that, I mean, how could I really be disappointed at all with the changes and the updates that Treyarch are making for the game? And it's one thing because, as I'm sure we all can understand, it's likely that a lot of the changes are being pushed from Activision due to pressure from Battlefield 6. But regardless of the reasonings for that, it's making Black Ops 7 turn into a much more fulfilling game on the surface, and potentially even deeper as we get closer to launch. So with the release of the game just around the corner, hopefully I can get this video up before the release of the game. I'm anticipating to do that soon. I just wanted to quickly share some of my thoughts and expectations for the game coming into the launch month. And I'm not sure if I'll be doing any particular streams or other videos on the games particularly soon, just because, like I mentioned, life keeps me busy, life keeps me tired as well. So unfortunately, it kind of has come down to over the past year where I feel like I need to be in the right mindset and the right mood to make any videos anymore, which kind of sucks, but hey, I still like making these videos, and if y'all are along for the ride, I really appreciate it. So with that being said, one more little housekeeping thing I will say is that I have been trying to get a little bit more consistent with some streams whenever I play games and such. It's still kind of iffy up in the air. I try to keep it every weekend. I've missed a few here already, but definitely I think when the game comes out, and I'm still anticipating to do the latest Luna 2 update for Genshin on a stream soon, so if y'all are interested in that, be sure to keep an eye out. But with that being said, let's go ahead and talk Black Ops 7. First off, minor criticism, 7 already. I feel like we could have probably have started going down the path after Black Ops Cold War to just do like different subtitles if we're going to keep on pushing the numbers this high, because 7 is a little ridiculous. I feel like at that point numbers this high are probably only reserved for like specific annual games, as in like the numbers related to the year, or I don't know, maybe it's just me, but like having seen the number as 7 is a little much. But I mean, there's not really much to complain about there because it's still a Black Ops game, and I still like Black Ops as a sub-franchise. It's still my personal favorite of the 3 studios, even though I think overall Sledgehammer has kind of brought themselves up to be the crowd favorite. But I still love the Black Ops series. But looking around to current talks, or I suppose rather lack of talks, for the campaign, typical Call of Duty fashion, the campaign is going to be slotting into somewhere in the Black Ops timeline. I'm personally not a fan because it seems like the writers were largely locked into a corner and couldn't really do anything. And that's just a consequence of the franchise going on for so long and them really trying to weasel their way with in-between stories rather than telling new branches of it. I'm not anticipating said story to be interesting, but the kind of interesting part is this whole end game mode that they're talking about, which is going to be. I'm listening and hearing that it's going to be somewhat of a combination of like a lot of the PvE modes minus zombies that Call of Duty has had over the years. So like DMZ, survival, other cooperative types of experiences and such. And it's going to be kind of akin to an extraction shooter in a way. I'm not sure how that's going to fare. I'm not sure if that's going to be all interesting to me, really. I am a little bit nervous because I would like to try and get all 3 mastery camos for the game this year, if that's the case, since there is one for campaign, and then there is the one for multiplayer and zombies as well, so that's a total of 3. But if the campaign is largely only going to be able to be farmed in that endgame mode, and it's not up my alley, then I don't know what I'm going to be looking at. But as far as that, we still don't really have a whole lot of details, so not much that I can speculate on there. As far as the multiplayer, I mean, guys, the multiplayer itself has been sounding like it's only been getting better and better. And I have probably a couple of hours worth of gameplay saved up that I wanted to save for a video like this, where I was talking about the game coming up to launch or just after the beta. And I didn't realize how much I had saved because I had a lot of good games, but more importantly, I had a lot of fun. Because of the one primary thing that Treyarch and Activision kind of greenlit, finally. Players have been fighting for it for basically over a decade at this point, even longer than when Modern Warfare came out. We're finally heading back to what I would say is a normal matchmaking system for Call of Duty. One that is not heavily reliant on skill. It focuses on ping and just getting you online as quickly as possible, because having gone back and played Black Ops 6 within the last week or so, just to kind of get back into the swing of things and playing Call of Duty past the beta, it takes, even for Team Deathmatch, likely the most populated game mode, it can take several minutes to find a game, and that is just not good. It's not fun, and not to mention the actual experience in-game either. But as I'm sure a lot of us who have played the beta are already aware when it comes to the overall feel of the game, instantly there was a vibe shift. Instantly it was less stressful, and just because there was less skill based considered in the matchmaking there, it didn't mean that you were stomping every lobby. It just meant that there was a lot more variety in the games, and you know, some days you would get stomped, some games you would do the stomping, and it was fun either way because you weren't always kind of tidily locked into that just routine of always playing against people that are exactly your skill level. So super refreshing. I super enjoyed it. But even outside of that big headliner, a lot of the things that were good in Black Ops 6 are coming back in 7, and they're even being further improved, which is fantastic. I mean, the camo grind itself is getting smoothed out a little bit. I think they're decreasing the headshot requirement for all weapons from 100 down to 80. And they're updating, thank God, they're updating the sniper and shotgun challenges to be one-shot kills rather than headshots. That was my biggest problem with Dark Matter this past year in Black Ops 6, because I felt like headshots with shotguns and snipers was a little mean, especially in the past when it was one-shot kills. That might have just been an oversight from the devs, but besides that, they're also removing the necessity of having to do an additional challenge to unlock the final Dark Matter level camo, which again I think was just a huge redundancy for the game. I don't know who really made that decision, but it was one that was made. And a lot of other things related to the overclocks and prestiging, and the fact that the mastery badges, which is I think my personal MVP, like new feature that was added to the Black Ops series, is also getting some updates with actual tangible rewards beyond just getting a diamond badge for a whole category. Maybe they kind of took my offer and decided to go with like maybe a secret hidden Dark Matter badge after the fact, or perhaps other simple rewards beyond that for completing an entire class of weapon or equipment or such. And of course, another huge thing is the weapon prestige. That's something that I don't think we've seen since Black Ops 4, just because I think the entire gunsmith past Modern Warfare would have just been super tedious for a lot of casual players who were like, well, I prestige my weapon but it's going to take me forever to get these attachments, and that's kind of the point. I mean, prestiging, that's kind of the point. It's just to always give yourself continuous things to grind for. And I don't think I ever made a video on it. I might have a stream VOD on it, but I did hit level 1000. And, you know, even if it's not up there, I did hit level 1000 on Black Ops 6, and beyond that point, my playtime began to tank, just because I felt like I had done everything I could, and it was all in zombies as well. You know, I do like multiplayer, but I'm always going to be a zombies guy at heart. But after the multiplayer beta earlier, about a month or so ago now, I could definitely see myself playing the multiplayer a lot more, especially with having normal matchmaking back. That's so good. I'm really looking forward to it. And I think Black Ops 6 largely just suffered because regardless of whose decision it was at Treyarch or Activision to have them do 2 games back-to-back like this, it was unfortunately just going to lead to the first game being a bit of a washover, just so that they could hopefully release something decent, take all the complaints from the first game and apply it to the second. And thankfully that's going to end up being the case for the multiplayer at least. And even more thankfully for myself, because I don't anticipate to be buying Infinity Ward's next title, whatever it may be called. I have lost all faith in Infinity Ward. I don't trust their game design, and I will be gladly saving my money this next year, and I will be staying in the Black Ops franchise. But yeah, when it comes to multiplayer, I'm really looking forward to everything the game has to offer. It already sounds like they're planning to, hopefully, I'm gonna hold them to their word. They're planning to not take their foot off the gas until, I imagine, like Season 4, Season 5, like midway through next year, because I mean it's easy to notice that Infinity Ward is Activision's golden child at the moment, since they were the ones that made Modern Warfare and Warzone and all that. So they're probably going to want to have a lot of eyes on the next Infinity Ward title, and so they'll have Treyarch kind of back off a little bit with big headliner stuff. But either way, I'm going to enjoy playing the multiplayer for the next little bit. But when it comes to zombies, I think, as much as I kind of sang its praises in my last video where I was talking about zombies, this could very well be like a final make or break year for a lot of people, because it's really going to be the first iteration of zombies that's like finally able to really flourish in these sort of ideas that the current zombies team has. And I would imagine they have ultimate freedom to do whatever they want, at least close to whatever they want now. But they're still being resistant to a lot of the feedback where players have just been saying, just go back to the way it was before, just be cryptic about the Easter eggs, just remove the armor, bring back the point system, remove the rarities and all that. And I do think, like, it's been reiterated within the community a lot, for zombies in particular, that Treyarch has largely just created solutions to problems that they also created. Like, they wanted to open up the loadout system to make it so players can spawn in with whatever they want, but then they also had to make a system to make sure that they don't spawn in with the strongest AR in the game on round 1. So what do? You make rarities, and then in order to kind of balance all that out, you have to make a different point system and yada yada yada. I'm not going to get into it. If you're a part of the zombies community, you already know exactly like a lot of the big problems that have been going on over the past 5 years or so. But you know, there's a lot of stuff I think to look forward to, because not only is there going to be our big map at launch with Ashes of the Damned, we're also going to have farm, and I think we're also going to be getting the Observatory survival map, and shortly after we're going to be getting the Exit 115 survival map. And that's another thing. There's the addition of survival maps to have very contained and easy experiences like that outside of the main story maps, I think is going to be a huge plus for the game. And ultimately, I think I mentioned it in my beta video for zombies, that ultimately those survival type maps are the ones that I always gravitated towards playing anyway, because I just like the basic gameplay loop of zombies. Like, I could do an Easter egg here or there, that's something that I am perfectly capable of doing, and I like doing it, but it's not like an every game thing for me. And even then, I would always play every single one of the maps that's released since Black Ops 3 or 4 as if they were survival maps. So, there's just a lot of different things here, and the way that the game ended up playing out during the beta, we obviously didn't have access to our augments. We didn't have access to a lot of the weapon customization, and certainly I don't think a lot of things were balanced yet as of the beta. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that we could potentially give even more feedback about once the full game goes live for Zombies, which, by the way, I think they also announced very recently that full confirmation that the Easter egg for Ashes of the Damned is going to be going live, I think 10 a.m. Pacific time on the 14th, which is obviously the full launch of the game. And it's going to be an even launch time for everyone around the world, so no one's going to be getting an early head start if you manage to take that flight over to New Zealand. Yeah, I think things are looking up for Black Ops 7 as a game overall. I know this video probably was kind of jumping around a lot because there has, frankly, ever since the beta ended, there has been so much information that has been coming out. Again, whether that's been because of the Battlefield 6 pressure or because it's stuff that Treyarch has genuinely been cooking over the last year due to feedback. And, there's only so much that we can talk about without really just saying what's already been said, or even really just trying to discuss things that we don't really know a whole lot about. So only time will tell. We'll have to see how things kind of go for Treyarch once the game launches in the next coming weeks. But kind of like how I mentioned, I'm genuinely looking forward to it. And there's no way, I think, really for anyone to call me a COD shill or a blind fan, because I myself have been pretty critical of some of the things that Call of Duty has done. Even if, at the end of the day, it comes down to the fact that I am someone who just loves to play Call of Duty as a whole. And I will continue to play it if it's an option. I have obviously played other games just to kind of fill out my gaming catalog. Single-player games like Genshin and FF7, other FPS games like Battlefield and Siege in my past, and a lot of other games in between. But I always come back to Call of Duty because that's my preferred video game. It just feels the best. It's the one I've clicked with the most, and it's the one that I enjoy the most, particularly with zombies. But yeah. I think that's going to go ahead and do it for this short-ish little video. I know whenever I say short, they end up being like half an hour. But that's because I anticipate to be short and to the point, but then a lot of things just kind of end up coming out, and I always end up talking over myself. But we'll go ahead and leave things there. If you guys have any potential thoughts about what you're looking forward to when it comes to Black Ops 7, let me know down below, because I want to share that positivity. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. And maybe I'll end up falling into that small group of people where, like, we find our perfect Call of Duty game and we want to stick with it for a few years instead of just buying the next one. So I'm looking forward to it. Once again, thank you all so very much for watching. If you have any questions, let me know down below. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out, everybody.